has that same ability to be a champion, maybe not in the ring, but each one of you is a champion in your own right. But if you have no way to show it, no opportunity to prove it, then we end up worshiping the champ rather than worshiping God. Or we end up being envious of the champ. Look at what he got. Shoot. He ain't nothing. And so our community is filled with envy, jealousy, strife, contention, bitterness, frustration, hatred, murder, because we are unfulfilled as men. Because racist white America cannot stand to see a black man really free, full of the power of God, with a creative mind at work, with a helpmeet by his side, working to develop creative ideas for the advancement of his family and his people. So since two things cannot occupy the same space at the same time, if the white male is gonna rule, then he must crush the black male. White male, you are wrong. Because if in reality, because of white supremacy, you believe that in order for you to survive as a white man, you have to crush a black man's existence, then in crushing our existence, you are doing something to your own. Because ultimately, no power on earth for any long period of time can keep any man from attaining what God himself has willed for that man.
Shalom, brothers and sisters. Thank you so much for being here and watching my YouTube channel. And I hope you are doing great wherever you are watching me from. Welcome. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about the pain of a black man in the white America. The pain of a black man in white America. That's what I'm going to talk about, because sometimes when I read the history of black Americans, sometimes when I watch videos about the history of black Americans since 1619, tears flow down on my cheeks, because every day I understand how painful being a black American was and still is. Every time I get knowledge and understand how it is hard for a black American to penetrate within the cities of America, how it is hard for a black American to penetrate looking for jobs in these companies in America, how black children are going through hell trying to penetrate on these educations or at these schools, trying to get education, how it is hard for a black person, for a black American, for a black elderly going to these hospitals. And I find it like sometimes Africans, we get it easy. Sometimes Africans, we think we are the one in the deeper shit. We think we are the one having these deep problems. But I think the problems of Africans, we are bringing these problems to ourselves. But black Americans are forced to these problems. Black Americans are forced to go through hell. They were forced since 1619, and they have fighted since that time up to now. But black or Africans, I think sometimes we just, and the pain of a black man, I'm going to talk about that because that's a message I've got it from this Professor Louis Farrakhan. And he given speech back then. It's a video for way back, but up to now, these things is still happening. And the beauty of these old videos is that the things that were spoken back then still affecting black people up to now. If you find this video good to you, if you have watched this video before, please watch it again, because it is deep, has a deeper message, and share it to those you think they need to hear this message. But if it's the first time for you to watch this video, please share to everyone you think have to watch this video, and consider subscribing. So let's go direct to the video, and then I'll come back with my commentary as I do always. Please tell me in the comment section what you think.
Who are you, black man? I want to talk to you tonight, and I can guarantee you that when you leave this auditorium tonight, nobody will be the same. No. You'll never be worse. You'll be better. And based upon the degree of acceptance of the word is the degree of rise that will come in Houston from these black men. There's an ass tied. What does Jesus want to ride an ass for? When they murdered Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., his body was carried by what? Mule. They used a mule as a symbol. The ass is a symbol of the unlearned masses of the people. Nobody could do anything with the unlearned masses of the people. But when Jesus came on the scene, the ass was tied. Meaning somebody owns you but not making use of you. Listen. In the South, I think that's where we are. Whenever somebody would come in to talk to black people, white folk would say, I don't want him disturbing my Negroes or my colored peoples. He's a troublemaker coming in to disturb our Negroes. They always used the possessive tense. This is why the Bible calls us the children of Israel. Of here denotes possession. We are the children possessed of Israel. Owned by, tied to, but not being used. They have no more jobs for us. You remember Reverend Jackson? They used to say, in heaven, every day will be like Sunday. It's like that now, only we in hell. Sunday was the day that we got off. Now every day is an off day for black folk, especially for black men. White folk make jobs, but they put your woman in the job. Put you off the job. I want you to listen. When a man doesn't have a job and he has a sex drive, which is natural. If he's a natural man, he's gonna like a woman. Of course, that's gradually being changed, you know. But if you're a natural man, you are attracted to a female. And if you are attracted to a female, and you like her, soon the natural attraction in male and female will give rise to sexual stimulation. And sexual stimulation will give rise to the act that they call making love. They call it making love because it's the act that creates life. But with us, it's not really a desire to create life or to procreate human species. It's a desire to have pleasure. And we know that the female God has made to give pleasure. But she's not to give pleasure to somebody who has not earned the right to pleasure by enduring the pain of being a producer. I want you to listen good. A man does not need pleasure if he's doing nothing. You know, recreation. Recreation. Recreation.
Yes, sir.
Recreation.
Yes, sir. Recreation.
Comes after work.
Work. Work. Work.
Not before work. Not in place of work. But recreation comes after work. Solace and comfort and consolation comes after struggle.
Go ahead.
When God made a man, he made the man to struggle. He made the man to overcome difficulty. He made the man to become a producer. He made the man to multiply, replenish the earth, and subdue it. He gave man power and dominion to carry out what God had ordained in the very nature of a man. And if a man does his job, God says, I'm going to give you a woman to help you do your job. But a woman can't help a man do nothing. A woman got to help a man do something. And if a man is a do-nothing man, he can never keep a woman, because a woman is made by nature to be your helper. A man doesn't need help to sit around and do nothing. Are you with me? So, as a man, if you don't have any program, you don't have any aim, you don't have any purpose, you don't have any project that you are working to develop, you don't need a woman. So now, wait. But your nature makes you to feel, I need a woman. Now, of course, if you're a natural man, your nature make you feel, I need a woman. And the woman is made to feel she needs a man. So we meet. And we are attracted to each other. And we fall in love with each other. And that's wonderful. And then sex follows. And then, without planning, an accident takes place. And she says, whoops, there it is. Hey, baby, I'm pregnant. I'm pregnant, baby. What you telling me for? You know what to do. Now, brothers, when you don't have any money in your pocket and your children are at home crying, how do you feel? When you go home and your wife is working, but you can't find a job. You just graduated from Texas Southern, is it? Texas Christian? Some other college? And you go for a job and they tell you, oh, I'm sorry, you're overqualified for this one. Or they tell you, I'm sorry, you don't have enough qualifications for this one. But it seems that your wife is qualified to hold any position. I noticed black women on television sitting next to anchor men, or she's an anchor woman. So they've already fulfilled the requirement. They've hired a minority and a black. But it's not you.
Right.
And since you and I, as a people, have not learned how to create a job, and you know it takes money in this world to live, then the only avenue open for you as a man is either join the army and be all that you can never be in the society, so that you can be sent all over the world to fight for a democracy that you don't know anything about at home. Or you can be in the neighborhood, and I tell you what, you can make a lot of money if you start small and grow big. Here's what I want you to do. Just go around and steal hubcaps. And after you do that, well, break into the car, get the radios. After you do that, well, take the car. Now you don't have to wait till the people sleep. Just go up to them and say, get out. I got this. And if they open their mouth wide enough, shoot them in it. Just look at the degeneration now. Come on, brothers. I know it's painful to be a black man in America. Real pleasure was never meant to come from a woman. Listen, I'm going to say that again. Real pleasure was never meant to come from a woman. Women give men pleasure, but real pleasure comes from creative thinking and then seeing what you think come into reality by the work of your hands. That's real pleasure. Reverend Jackson has experienced real pleasure. Because this house was an idea in his mind. An architect took it from his mind and put it on paper. He gathered his flock and they went to work, and what was an idea became reality. The word became flesh. So on the day that this house was opened, joy that no female could give. Because now this house, this reality from the mind can house thousands now that can be inspired to go out and make a difference in the world. But as long as you as a man lay down at night and dream about your greatness, but you are never able to manifest how great you are, then the pain of being non-productive makes you seek pleasure that keeps you non-productive.
Non-productive.
Look at it. Look at it, brothers. Each one of you is in pain. As a black man in white America, we're in pain, brothers.
In pain.
We live with constant pain. Nobody knows our pain but God and us. When you wake up in the morning and you look in the mirror and you know deep down inside you are as great as any man of greatness that you've heard about, read about, or seen in real life, you know you are as great as any one of them, possibly greater. But there's no avenue of opportunity to allow you to demonstrate your individual greatness. Then this breeds frustration. It breeds bitterness. It breeds envy and jealousy. You look behind us at the heavyweight champion of the world. As a black man, you know we have always loved our champions because it's something to watch a man in a ring deal and win. And you know that Evander Holyfield works hard to be who and what he is. He doesn't climb into the ring without having made a great sacrifice of time. And he's in pain. He puts his body through pain to condition himself for what he's about to face. Every man has that same ability to be a champion, maybe not in the ring, but each one of you is a champion in your own right. But if you have no way to show it, no opportunity to prove it, then we end up worshiping the champ rather than worshiping God. Or we end up being envious of the champ. Look at what he got. Shoot. He ain't nothing. And so our community is filled with envy, jealousy, strife, contention, bitterness, frustration, hatred, murder, because we are unfulfilled as men. Because racist white America cannot stand to see a black man really free, full of the power of God, with a creative mind at work, with a helpmeet by his side. working to develop creative ideas for the advancement of his family and his people. So since two things cannot occupy the same space at the same time, if the white male is gonna rule, then he must crush the black male. White male, you are wrong. Because if in reality, because of white supremacy, you believe that in order for you to survive as a white man, you have to crush a black man's existence, then in crushing our existence, you are doing something to your own. Because ultimately, no power on earth for any long period of time can keep any man from attaining what God himself has willed for that man. I say all of that to say that you are powerless because they don't want you to have power. And as a man, you can't function without power. This is why, Reverend, men don't come to church like they should.
No.
Women are in the church. Why aren't the men there? Because women are suffering for the lack of a man. Jesus was and is a man. So the only comfort for a woman who does not have a real man is to imagine her connection to the master himself. So she comes to church and she's so frustrated because she got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 children. Sometimes from 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 different men. Nobody to love her. Nobody to care for her and her offspring. So she just eats herself to death. She gets fat and out of shape. She's demoralized, dispirited, disenchanted. And she comes to church and the reverend tells her, Jesus is my rock. Jesus is a comforter. Jesus will do this. Well, the woman need a man to do something for her. So she get the Holy Ghost and run up and down the aisle. She gets the Spirit. But what she's really looking for is a real man of God in her life. Well, why aren't you there? Because, Reverend, the power side of Jesus is not represented. The side of comfort and consolation and mercy and forgiveness is what's mentioned, and the woman is more attracted to that because of the feminine side of her nature. But a man is made to have power and dominion. And unless the church becomes as God intended it to be and gives power to the man. How do you give power to a man? You give a man power by giving him knowledge. You don't entertain men. You teach men. Are you listening? When church becomes a big show, and it's more singing and shouting and entertaining than real teaching, then the man can't get a grip on the Word of God to empower the man to go out from the church into life and deal with what is out there. So Jesus saw an ass tied.
right now.
And brothers, you're tied up, but they have no more use for you. And in a society like this, when they don't have any more use for you, they program you for destruction. Now look at yourself. Look at yourself, brothers. Let's look. 30 years ago, white folk did not ever want to see a black man with a gun. Right in the South, if you had a shotgun on your farm, white folk would be a little careful how they come around you, especially if you would use it. Because they know that thing hurts, kills. So you couldn't get guns. There was always a liquor store available to you, so that in your pain of not being productive as a man, and some of you don't even know why you're in pain, because your nature has never been explained to you. So you're in pain, don't know where the pain is coming from, don't know why you're in pain, but you're in pain because you're not productive. And no man can be a man unless he's productive. So that the alcohol man says, hey, brother, come on here. Take this for your pain. So you're a college professor, but you're in pain. Because you know, professor, something ain't right with what you're professing. You're teaching young people, and you know when they leave college, most of them will not be able to use what they spent 4 years in college trying to learn. So, in the basement of most of the professors' houses, you find a bar. And you have parties in your house. And your friends come over and you get drunk. And laugh and talk and get drunk. And get drunk and laugh and talk and tell jokes. And get drunk some more. And laugh and talk and tell jokes. And then go back to class on Monday acting like you professing. It's the same with preachers. No. Preachers are sad men too. Because most of them read the Bible about a God, but he ain't real in their life when white folk come. You understand what I'm saying? You say you believe in God. God is your rock. But don't let white folk come to your house in the midnight hour. You start saying like they said, Jesus said on the cross, my God, why have you forsaken me? Because deep down inside, some of the most cowardly people are the people who claim to believe in God. You allow the flock to be eaten by the wolf, and the shepherd runs and hides and becomes an apologist for the wickedness of the slave master and his children. So preachers are unfulfilled too. And this is why sex is a major part of a preacher's life. Wait a minute. No. I'm not putting nobody down. Go ahead. I say, wait a minute. I know there's some good preachers. Don't misunderstand me. There are some very good pastors. But for the most part, there's too much talk among pastors about women and too little talk about serving the needs of the people that we are shepherd over. Brothers, brothers, we're all in pain. The man of God, he got his Bible, but he's in pain. The Muslim, he got his Quran, he's in pain. The agnostic ain't got no Bible, no Quran, don't believe in no God, but he in pain. Gangbangers in pain. All of us are in pain. And do you know, brothers, when you're in pain, your brain releases hormones that actually can deaden pain. This is why you could lose an arm and sometimes don't even feel it because the trauma has released something from the brain, and when you look and your arm is gone, then pain. But before that, you didn't even know it was gone. That's how powerful the brain is. But when your pain is so great that you deplete what the brain can give to comfort you, and your knowledge is so weak that it can't fire the brain up to produce more of what you need in a traumatic time, then here come the dope merchant. Hey, baby. Hey, try this. And we're in so much pain, brothers. After a while, reefer gets to be punk stuff. And you graduate from reefer, you have never been able to afford cocaine like white folks use it in the powdered form. So some of them went in a laboratory and developed a very inexpensive, chemically produced coke that immediately goes to the pleasure center of the brain. And one hit of it hooks you. Now that's really something. So now crack is flooding our community. And each of you as men know, the more pain you're in, the more drugs you use, your personality begins to get distorted. You're no longer the same person that you were when you were natural or in a natural state. You become an incessant liar. And after a while, your mother and your father become objects to you, not your real parents that you should have love and care and tenderness for. But you see your mother's fur coat and you take it. You see something of value, you take it. And if they try to stop you, you, in the sad state of your mind, would kill your own mother, your own father, your sister, or your brother. Now the black community is filled with pain and filled with drugs. Filled with pain and no power, now filled with guns. Mao Zedong said, power grows out of the barrel of a gun. So when you put a gun in a powerless young black man's hands, he got his hand on something now that gives him power. He's hungry for power. The nature that the Bible said God created him in, God gave him in the beginning power. But the white man took away from you power. Now you're trying to get it back, but you don't know how. So they sell you a gun. You didn't go to the gun store and get it, because they wouldn't sell it to you at the gun store. But you got it on the market, the white market. And they sold you a weapon. And they knew you were not going to be involved in a drive-by shooting in the white neighborhood. You were not going to do carjacking in the white neighborhood. They know that the more guns they put in your hand, you would begin to terrorize your own neighborhood. So it's guns and drugs and jobless men. Guns and drugs and pain-filled men. Guns and drugs and bitter, frustrated men. Guns and drugs and men with no creative mind. Guns and drugs and a man that is not really a man of his own destiny. So, brothers, when you're like this, you don't see the brother sitting next to you as your flesh. Look at the brother sitting next to you. Look behind you and look at all your brothers all the way down. Look at them. Just look at them. Look in front of you and see all these men up here. Do you see yourself as their family? No. No. I came in here tonight. I want to hear Farrakhan. But something happened while you were in the line. You never saw anything like that before. Look at all these black men, man. They lined up all the way to the freeway, wrapped around the building. Nobody arguing, nobody fighting. Look at this, man. Look, look. Whoa, whoa, what is this? And when you sit down, ain't no women in the audience. You ain't rubbing shoulders with another woman that you could check out to see how short her dress is, what her thighs look like. You're sitting next to your brother, so there shouldn't be any sexual stimulation from being close. But out in the hood, it's every man for himself. And so when you got a gun, you feel you got power. You're at home, you call the dog may come.
That's sad. That's sad, brother. That's sad.
You're at home, you call your children, they may come. But when you put out the gun, people start coming to that. What you say you want? Yes, sir. Yeah, I'll give. That's that you feel that's real power. And then the kicker is when you squeeze the trigger and you watch the body of your brother gyrate under the heat of a bullet, and you see him cry out, "Oh God," and he gasps, and you watch his life ooze out, and you don't have no feeling for him. You go back home with your boys, you eat a beef burger, a hamburger, a pizza, and you go to bed like you did nothing. But those women that are out there cheering you tonight, they got to carry their sons to a final resting place. For every black person that you kill, you have wounded whole families. Whole families around. then you set up vengeance in those that are remaining behind, so they're plotting now to get you. And you know, I watch white folks send a contraption up that circles the earth. I watched them send a telescope up, and it didn't work. And then they sent something else up to correct the telescope. Tens of thousands of miles away. And you mean to tell me they can't correct a condition that is going on in every major city of America? Something is wrong. Now, brothers, you are programmed right now for total destruction. See, when they put out a movie called Boys in the Hood and show us to the world at our worst behavior, when they put a movie out called Menace to Society, and you see your brothers pistol whip a Korean woman, reach over the counter, shoot her, and then go home and take a video camera of it and sit down and laugh at it, and you in the movie laughing at it too. White folk have sent that movie all over the world. And do you know what's being done? White people all over the world and your own black brothers are looking at you through the lens of a movie camera.
Welcome back. Now, we all agree, and we can all agree that the society is suffering because of men. The lack of men in the society will make our society to suffer, our home to suffer, children to suffer, women to suffer. And you may find a woman having like a number of children, like 10, but she is suffering because there is no man, or there's no a responsible man in the society. Now, that's one. But this video is about the pain of a man in white America. The black man in America has been suffering for so long. As I started my video, I said I have never experienced what's happening in the white America, but just from reading the stories and watching documentaries, tears always flow on my cheek, tears of pain. I know you have come across sometimes watching these movies, and when you are watching these movies or when you are reading stories, you find you are so emotional. The history of black Americans, it is so emotional. And I understand. I have not gone through, but I understand. I have never gone through what racism means. I have never. I can't lie. I have never experienced racism. I have never experienced discrimination. Never. Because I think when I was growing up, and even up to now, I think I act mostly as the boss. Because when I was a kid, I was not following people. I loved them following me. In one way or the other, I have never experienced even my friends discriminating me. So it's something that I come to understand when at least I'm mature enough to know what I'm trying to watch or to read. And men have gone through hell. They have made men to be powerless. They have made black man in America to be nothing. They have reduced black men to America to nothing. There's a video I watched of a black American lady saying, "Forgive us, black men, because you tried to help us. They told us you are criminals. They told us you don't love the family. They told us that you guys are useless. But deep down, you were out there trying to provide for your family, and you are caught in between that you are a criminal, you are caught in between chaos because they don't want you. And they told us you are a criminal, but you are not. Even you are not closer to the crime scene. They made us black women to believe that you black men are not good for us. They create a stereotype that black men do not love to have families. But no, the pain of having this family, trying to provide for them, and you can't provide for them because you are powerless. The pain of having this family without having stronger income. The pain of having this family without giving them better education, quality health. It is too much. Black man in the society, they made sure he is powerless. And the only threat to the white America is a black man. Black man is a threat to the white America. They have been fighting for so long. Black men have been out here fighting for the future of America, fighting for the future of black communities, fighting for the future of Africans. It's like to say when wars were in Africa, women were home and men are being taken to go to war. It's happening even right now in Congo. Men are going to war and women are remaining home. As a woman, you think you don't have a good man, but this man is going to fight for you. Making a man powerless is making him not to have that access to wealth. Having an access to wealth, owning a house, is one of the things that this black man was denied. Black man was denied to have access to assets that appreciate. Black man has been subjected to loans. Black man have been subjected to depression after depression. The pain of a black man in America is real. I can attest to that in an African version. The pain of an African man is too much because we are the sole providers. I'm not saying that women are not providers, but we believe this mostly in Africa. We believe the women's money is their own money. And they believe that too. A woman can be earning maybe more than you, maybe earning 100,000, and a man is earning 10,000, but a man will make sure children are going to school, you have food to eat, you have clothes, and you will never see money of ladies. And contrary, we accept that as men. Personally, I want that. I will not accept a woman to take the control of the house. That's me. If I'm wrong, tell me in the comment section. But African man is going through hell. And that's why you find a lot of African men, youths, they go on a depression move, they die, they kill themselves because they can't endure anymore what's happening. I can tell the pain of a black man in America, considering that there's racism everywhere, considering that there is injustices everywhere. When a man goes out, you never know if he will return because the system is against him, because they are discriminating him. In workplaces, they have been paid low, so they need to work more hours for them to provide. And the only time or the time this woman is having problem or the time this your lady is having hard life is because your man is powerless. It's because your man does not have access to wealth. Your man does not have access to quality education, quality health system. As a woman too, you need to go out and look after your family. Your man is not providing for the family because he does not have access to the wealth. As a woman, you start going into deeper problem too, simply because there's no man in your house. I don't know if you understand me. All of us have listened to this video of Louis Farrakhan, and in one way or the other, we have get that message very, very well. Because men are going through hell. And considering the history of black American, I can attest that it is worst for men. And if it's worst for a man, automatically it becomes worse to a woman. You understand what I'm saying? When a man suffers, the woman will suffer. When the woman suffers, the children will suffer. Now, a man can suffer and the children don't suffer because the woman is there, very strong. But when a man suffers and a woman suffers, automatically children will suffer. Men have not been given chance to be paid enough. Men are being subjected to low wages. Men are being subjected to inculcation, mass inculcation. All of them are being termed as criminals. It is hard to be a black man. And I always understand that. I understand that because the weakness of United, or the weakness of white America is when these black men unite. And the thing they will never want a black man to unite. They will never want the black people to unite because that is the weapon that will disassociate this. That is the weapon that will end this systematic oppression. So they keep on oppressing a black man. They keep on oppressing black people. They keep on making sure he is more and more powerless. No money in your pocket, no weapon. You cannot get no quality health. They make sure you have poor health. They make sure that you are suffering so that you cannot get that energy to make things a U-turn. That's the life of men. I know I've not said much, but Dr. or Professor Louis Farrakhan has said a lot. Bold, and I love watching Dr. Farrakhan, and I thank how this Mr. Louis Farrakhan is for speaking the truth about an African man, speaking the truth about black man. The kind of discussion is right now, this kind of discussions about men, we don't see them because we have a lot of feminism, and sometimes when men are into the deeper ship, they don't talk out here because when you talk as a man, you're being judged. So men don't love to be judged, so they just keep quiet, and they keep on dying from inside. And when a man keep on dying from inside, that means that the society will go into a deeper problems. I love Brother Farrakhan, and I'll never forget for the first time I heard his speech. I think it was a speech of 1992, and even up to now I'm listening his speeches, 2014, everywhere, the speeches, I think he is even more powerful. Since back then, he has been more powerful. And I think he's a great brother, Farrakhan. Tell me what you think on the comment section about this video. Consider subscribing on my YouTube channel if you love that message. Until next episode, peace out.